To everyone that went out there today to stand up for America, I just want you to know that you are celebrated. I believe what we watched today is a beautiful start to what, in my opinion, will be a reshaping of the future of this country.
I'm just checking on a 92%. How are y'all doing on this April 5th? How are y'all doing? What did y'all do today besides take y'all out there with everybody else?
So if you know me, you know that I will heed to the assignment, but I'm going to be a little nosy. I was out doing my workout, y'all. I promise that's all I was doing. They told me to sit my black down, and I promise you I am. I'm just here walking around doing my workout, as you can see. Ain't no marching for me with these folks. Like Marshawn Lynch said, I'm just here so I won't get fined. So if anyone picks on my IP address, I'm not here to march. I am here to work out.
Did you notice yesterday for the protest, there was no police, there was no heavy armor, there was no dogs, there was no type of intimidation from the law?
Let me just point out, of all of the over 1,200 protests we done seen, right? They're saying over a few million people have participated in protests across the nation. Let me just say that out of all of these protests, I have not seen not one person getting tear gassed. I have not seen anybody getting womp womp with the batons. I have not seen any lines of the SWAT team lined up.
I don't see one police officer.
We had really high hopes for y'all. We did. But we told y'all multiple times a convenient protest gets nothing done.
So there's some things with these protests that I'd like to address and kind of talk about. But before I do that, I just want to acknowledge and say that white people, I'm so proud of you right now. The ones with some sense that are doing something. I really am, because I know despite being scared, despite not knowing what'll happen, y'all are still showing up and y'all are still showing out and making a difference, making your voice heard. And I think that is something that is amazing and worth celebrating. So I'm
Now, y'all know we said we wasn't showing up to any protest this time. We said we was tired. We said we was minding our business, drinking our water, watching y'all from the couch. But why every video got at least one of us front and center, like the event coordinator? How did Jerome end up leading the chants? Why is Auntie Sharon passing out damn snacks? Why dude had a whole lawn chair like he brought tailgate energy? We don't ever fully sit anything out. We just be lying to ourselves. Y'all, we were supposed to be in the house today.
Hey my people, Gracie here once again. Welcome back to the channel. I hope that from wherever you my loves are watching this from, you're doing all right and God has protected you and preserved you very well. I do appreciate all of you that keep supporting my members. Special shout out to you guys. You do me amazing. We definitely are back with another interesting episode. The long awaited day in the United States of America when them palm colored people decided and mobilized, and they're like, you know what, we are literally going to step out and hit the streets and let this man know, Donald Trump, that we don't like how he is handling our country, how he is misappropriating everything, the resources, and putting so many people off work, all these policies and the executive orders. We did not vote him for this. And of course, we are very much aware that black people said, you know what, this is a sit down. And I think ever since the election and everything, black people decided to do the intellectual work and then let these people who they believe are not well off, intellectually, to do the work. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. Hundreds and thousands and millions of people hit the streets. But there is something that black people decided to come and analyze, and I'm gonna bring all the analysis and their reactions up about all of these protests, and what are Black people saying? Do they think this was a successful, march, or is it even important? Of course, you're going to hear all the different voices. Don't go away. We have to come back and talk about it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're landing on here for your very first time.
So I'm sure by now everyone has come across the April 5th protests and just seeing how people are gathering in large amounts. I think they said like Florida, thousands of people came out. Multiple states throughout the area have all these people marching, as you can see. But one thing I want to make very clear, while we're at home resting, I don't see one police officer. And the whole vibe is like a little social gathering. Okay, it's like a little, we're mad, yay, unrest. And there's no police presence whatsoever. And these things are getting massive. They're fucking massive. And I want to make it very clear that this is being allowed with zero recourse. I'm willing to bet everything in what's left of my 401k at this point that if we were out there, and by we, I mean, there would be so much discourse with the police, with us, with people, and those good old boys would have been marching against us. I'm telling you, there is a whole other side of that protest that is waiting on Black people, and it's not just the police. It's those people who are diehard Trump fans and diehard racists. I kid you not. But what's so interesting to see is how no one gives a shit. No news for real. Like, they're saying something, but they're not out there interviewing people for real. And it's like, damn, y'all really are waiting on Black people. Like, y'all need us to help you, but we fucking can't. Because if we do, that's when those good old boys are going to be called and all that shit's going to be shut down. So y'all doing good. Go you.
To everyone that went out there today to stand up for America, I just want you to know that you are celebrated. You know, I believe what we watched today is a beautiful start to what, in my opinion, will be a reshaping of the future of this country. When all of you go home and you open up your social media and see the footage or hear the commentary from today, I'm certain you will have naysayers. I'm certain you will have people in there saying, this did not matter. What is it going to do? Even Donald Trump said he does not care. But I want to remind you that it does matter, okay? I want you to know that what I saw today really impacted me, because I actually saw people standing up in places I never imagined that they would. Places like Utah, you know, the state of Utah. Places like Kent, Ohio, Charlottesville, Virginia, you know, Florence, Alabama, like deep red rural parts of America, going out there, standing up and saying, this is not the country that we want. I think that absolutely matters, you know, because a big part of what this man does in leadership with his cult-like following is they are so loud they make you think most of the country thinks that way. The reason why he is always screaming, the American people voted for this, the majority, you know, 77, now he says 80 million votes. The reason why he says that is to put it out there that your voice is small compared to what I have brought to the table. Your voice is insignificant compared to what I say and do in the public eye. It makes the people who follow him radically speak up and be more ignorant, but it also makes the people who could have voted for him but aren't too sure if that was the right decision stay quiet and not feel like they have somewhere to, you know, fall back on, a place of refuge. But today was different, and I'm sure that there are people who saw what took place that may not have felt the courage to stand up, that grew the courage to stand up. And that is the type of progress we are looking to see grow over time. That is what will ultimately stand up to this authoritarian regime. So please know, as someone who chose to sit on the sidelines and allow your voice to be heard today, you are absolutely celebrated. And we believe in everything that you spoke up for.
So if you know me, you know that I will heed to the assignment, but I'm going to be a little nosy. I was out doing my workout, y'all. I promise that's all I was doing. They told me to sit my black ass down, and I promise you I am. I'm just here walking around doing my workout, as you can see. Ain't no marching for me with these folks. Like Marshawn Lynch said, I'm just here so I won't get fined. So if anyone picks on my IP address, I'm not here to march. I am here to work out. I'm doing my shit. I do want to say, as I stand in front of the Capitol, black folks got the assignment. There are maybe 3, 4 that I've seen, 3 or 4, maybe 5 black folks here. Y'all got the assignment. Congratulations. I don't know if anybody has seen The American Gangster. And there was a cop who was bad, and he was trying to tell the cop that was trying to go after Frank Lucas. And there was a scene played by Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe is the good cop. And he said, the other cop said to him, he said, leave Frank Lucas alone. And y'all got the assignment. I am so proud of y'all black folks. Leave Frank Lucas alone. Let these people do their thing. I came because I promise you, I wasn't coming to march. I'm coming to work out and to be nosy. But I'm leaving right now. Leave Frank Lucas alone.
Now, y'all know we said we wasn't showing up to any protest this time. We said we was tired. We said we was minding our business, drinking our water, watching y'all from the couch. But why every video got at least one of us front and center, like the event coordinator? How did Jerome end up leading the chants? Why is Auntie Sharon passing out damn snacks? Why dude had a whole lawn chair like he brought tailgate energy? We don't ever fully sit anything out. We just be lying to ourselves. Y'all, we were supposed to be in the house today.
Black people, this is your reminder that resistance looks different for everybody. I get it. You did not participate in the protest today. You stayed home and took a nap. You're practicing your Tamia line dance. You somewhere playing spades. And I love that for you. But there's somebody else who decided to go to the protest. And that's okay. It is not required of you to be in their comment section admonishing them because they chose to resist a different way than you do. Rest looks different for everybody. For me, it's going to the outlets. And for another black woman, that may mean going to a protest. And if that's what she felt was right in her heart, I love that for her. Remember that policing black and brown bodies is a tool of white supremacy. And the only people that benefit from the tools of white supremacy is white people. Now, white people, I see you all across the country. Droves, thousands of y'all protested. And I want to say, it's about goddamn time. It's about goddamn time. You ain't gonna get no good job from me because you about 400 years late. But I want y'all to pay attention that of all the news reports I seen today, I ain't seen nothing about smoking people, gassing people, riot gear, raids, tanks. I ain't seen none of that today. Anyway, mind the business that pays you. Y'all tell me what you think.
So I see that y'all are actually out at these protests. Major slay. I have not seen one black person in sight. Yeah. Not one black person, like literally I've seen a bunch of lives and like TikToks, and each one I'm watching a bunch of different cities and states, not one black person. I have not seen one black person. Amazing and magical. Yeah. Because this is what this is supposed to give. This is what this is supposed to be, because y'all already knew if we were out there, it just wasn't going to give this right now. How peaceful it seems in the world. You know what I mean? And that's not to say that black people were the ones going to be making it unpeaceful. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. There's clearly a reason why there's literally a bunch of protests happening right now, but you're not really seeing anything about, violence or anything like that. Riots breaking out, police brutality. So that's interesting, but it just goes to show that everything the Black people were saying about not going to these protests, correct. Absolutely correct. But yeah, I'm glad y'all are out there, protesting. Thank you. That is a major slay. And to the Black people staying at home today, enjoying your vibe, enjoy your day. You deserve. You deserve. I love you.
I almost got caught up in one of these April 5th protests. It was by accident.
Caught up in a protest. So it doesn't. Lord have mercy. I'm just walking downtown Dallas. I start seeing folk with signs that say, they signs. I'm gonna tell you, you're messing on senior citizens. You may mess with a whole lot of folks, but senior citizens, they ain't scared. I'm telling you. The average person that I didn't see down here was, they working on the street. Don't pay no attention. Listen, this man here, he look like he's 70 years old. He got on his military jacket. Baby, he said, I ain't coming to play. You trying to take away his veteran benefits. He's still the same size. He got on his jacket. Oh, they coming in. And I'm coming out. They coming in and I'm going out. Look at. Oh, they coming in. Look, they coming in. Maybe they got their signs. They coming in. They coming in and I'm going out. They about to set this thing off. And I'm about to set it off at the house. I'm going to get my cell phone up out of here. Now, again, I'm not in the news. I'm just reporting. Oh, they coming in. Oh, baby, they say it's starting at 3 o'clock. But they got their signs. They got their shirts on. Uh-oh, let me see your sign. Uh-oh, what you coming down here to do?
Protest.
Protest and let them know you don't want to see all this.
That's right.
You want to change.
That is correct.
All right, well, appreciate you being out here.
Moratorium on morons.
Ah, I love it. Look at this little sign he didn't do. Baby, he didn't make his own sign, and I love it. He didn't make his own sign. I told you, all I'm doing is reporting. Ain't part of it. Come on back. For news, you can use.
Let me pause my movie. Let me just point out, of all of the over 1,200 protests we done seen, right? They're saying over a few million people have participated in protests across the nation. Let me just say that out of all of these protests, I have not seen not one person getting tear gassed. I have not seen anybody getting womp womp with the batons. I have not seen any lines of the SWAT team lined up approaching people that are marching the streets. As a matter of fact, I heard that in Dallas, the police shut down the roads to allow the people to walk over there where the JFK incident happened, the grassy knoll and the depository. Yeah, they shut down the streets to allow the protests to continue, to allow the people to walk on down them roads. So when you hear Black people saying, the ones who decided to protest in other ways, like protesting by not being on the front lines, remember that this is why. Had it not been majority white people marching, would that have still been the outcome? Like, serious question. And don't lie, you know the answer. And this is why we said that this wasn't for us. It is okay that some people went. Okay, that's fine. But it is great that majority of us stayed home and watched TV, while simultaneously having already been doing protesting through other avenues. Because y'all act like marching is the only way to protest. Just remember, this is why. The outcome would have been very different. And we all know it. And if we're being real, it's not our jobs. It is not our jobs to dismantle white Christian nationalism and white supremacy. We didn't create it, bitch. We did not create it. We don't benefit from it. So it's not our jobs to dismantle. It has to be dismantled from within by the very people that created it and benefit from it inherently. That's them same people marching. As you should. I'm so happy. I'm so happy y'all showed the fuck up while we sat the fuck down.
Reporting live from my sofa in the United States of embarrassment. Except today, I'm not embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed. I want to briefly discuss the comments on my last video. There were a lot of white women And even some white men who said, relax, have a seat, rest. We got this. We got this. And I don't think a lot of you understand the volume and the magnitude of comments like that. And those of you get it, right? You get why Black women are tired. You get why people of color are tired for protesting their entire existence, fighting for their entire existence. And when we had an opportunity to come together, we felt disappointed. But now, over 1 million people gathered in cities across the world, even outside of America, to say the same thing. And while the Cheeto flavored penis potato is in Florida, golfing on the taxpayer's dime, we are fighting for change. And if this is not an indication of how fucked up this entire situation is, I fear that if you don't understand that, something is wrong with you. Like mentally, you need to go and get checked out. I want to show you something though. Look at these crowds. Look at these crowds. These are record-breaking numbers of everyone coming together in alliance for the same thing. The same thing. The math is not mathing from the election, right? The math is not mathing. So we know what that means. But what it also means is that you are not alone. It also means that even if you feel like the people close to you don't understand, these people do. So find a circle, find people, find substance, find creators that are on the same page in an alliance with you. And find your hope, and find your joy, and find your fire, and fight. And fight. And the reason why I say that is because I know what that looks like from my ancestors. I know what that looks like from my ancestors. So as a Black woman who at times searched and yearned and wanted acceptance and validation in a world that didn't understand me, or in environments that didn't understand me or didn't deserve me, and I didn't know my worth just because of the cards that I was dealt with or because of the choices that I made based on other people's happiness, I am here to tell you, thank you. Thank you for allowing us to rest. Because we are all so tired, but we will not give up. And as always, I will be available to provide you with breaking good news to outweigh the bad.
Did you notice yesterday for the protest, there was no police, there was no heavy armor, there was no dogs, there was no type of intimidation from the law? Did you notice that? I didn't really see minorities, a couple here and there, but when it seems like it's all minorities, it's police, it's dogs, it's heavy armor with, with shields and masks and smoke bombs. Did you notice that? Did you notice that the tables have turned? Or is it just me? Or did the whole world see this as a different type of protest?
I'm just checking on a 92%. How are y'all doing on this April 5th? How are y'all doing? What did y'all do today besides take y'all ass out there with everybody else? I went apartment hunting. I also went and bought me some libations. I ordered me some food, and now I'm rewatching Bridgerton. I am chilling for the day, okay? I want to know what the rest of the 92% is doing. It looks like the protests are going well. They're now going global. They've had over 6,000 people in Boston. come out and fight against and protest against Frumpy, I am happy for them. But for everybody that stood at home and kept their peace, I am happy for y'all as well, because it is time for us to rest. It is time for the rest of them to get their ass out there and do their goddamn job. If they would have done their job before, we would not be in this situation now. The 92%, I want to know what y'all did on April 5th to keep yourself at peace and at rest. I just turned on my phone not too long ago. I'm about to turn this hoe off again. Bye.
So there's some things with these protests that I'd like to address and kind of talk about. But before I do that, I just want to acknowledge and say that white people, I'm so proud of you right now. The ones with some sense that are doing something. I really am, because I know despite being scared, despite not knowing what'll happen, y'all are still showing up and y'all are still showing out and making a difference, making your voice heard. And I think that is something that is amazing and worth celebrating. So I'm going to take a second to do that. I hope this is something that is invigorating for people, is empowering, and builds momentum to keep it going, because I don't want this one protest or these protests today to be something that dies out because you don't see immediate action from it. These things take time, and each moment of protest, whether it be something big like this or something more granular or something more you do from home, like boycotting and calling and things like that, all of that is a part of a greater movement that actually makes change. So it's these moments in time over an extended period of time that makes a difference. So please don't be discouraged. Please look at this as the win that it is. So, but aside from that, there's some things that I've noticed about how these protests have been happening today. Now, they're still actively happening right now, so that's the thing. But I've seen some people be like, well, y'all were blowing things out of proportion, like y'all were talking about this, but like it's not actually happening. And I kind of want to talk about that because, one, I personally have not pushed the narrative of martial law, mainly because I don't know if that'll actually happen or the likelihood of it happening. That's not something I felt personally comfortable talking about. So I haven't done that. But what I have done is talked about how it's still dangerous for us being Black people, to go out still and protest right now, especially under an administration that doesn't care about rules. So I've seen some people say like, oh, these are super chill. Like, what were people talking about? Like, what was such an issue or whatever. That is partially, if not almost entirely, because we're not there. And that's not to say it won't happen. I don't want it to, okay? I do not want it to. But a lot of times, I don't know if y'all remember, but a lot of times with the protests back in 2020, they would get really crazy at night. That was when things got real. So that was a thing. Again, I don't want that to be a thing, but that's part of it. The other thing too is when I was talking about and saying that it is not safe for us to go out right now, I sincerely mean that. Like, the actual act of us collectively en masse being out and visible in that way, unfortunately invites violence. So martial law or not, there's this inherent danger for us to be present. If we're not present, it is less likely to be escalated. It's less likely to be agitation. We've seen that already. That's partially why we're encouraging primarily white people to be the ones to go out and do these protests. That's like the whole point. All this advice and stuff is to help in case it does escalate, because again, we cannot predict how this administration is going to act and how it's going to be carried out in local settings. So it's more of a better safe than sorry thing. But that being said, even though I personally have not felt comfortable talking or pushing this idea of martial law, because again, there's a lot that comes with that. I have, my family is very much in the military. My grandpa was in the military. I have very much close associations with the government as far as my family is concerned. So I've not felt entirely comfortable pushing that yet. But I completely understand why there are people that are concerned about that. And I don't think that it is wrong to be hesitant as a Black person to go out and protest. Whether it be because of this concept of martial law or not, at the end of the day, either way, whether it's called or not, it is still dangerous for us to be there. And I think that's what matters. Now, I know that there are still Black people that went and are currently at these protests. I think that's amazing. If you feel comfortable doing that, if you want to go do that, please do. Seriously, just be safe. That's all I care about. For me personally, I care about our safety, period, point blank. So if you feel comfortable doing that and you feel like it's something that you want to do to have your voice be heard, I'm never going to discourage that. But I don't want it to become a thing where it starts to be a disparagement of the Black people that didn't feel comfortable going, because that's completely valid, whether they're talking about martial law or not. So I get it. I do think that it's important to not police the actions of Black people from anybody, including other Black people. I think if you are comfortable going out and doing something, you should do that. Be careful, but you should do that. And if it's something that you do not feel comfortable doing it for your own safety, that is also valid. But all I would personally say or encourage is that if it is something that you're choosing to do, to not like participate right now, I would just encourage you to think about what your line is. Like, where is your line where you're like, okay, I need to be active, and where's your line where you're like, I need to step back? What does that look like for you? How do you stay safe if the line is crossed? And what kind of resources or community can you activate in order to help you do that and deal with that line being crossed? That's all I ask. But I just, times are really hard right now, and I do understand that, like, how important it is to fight against what is happening right now with this administration. But I'm very, very concerned about it becoming one of those things where it gets turned against the Black community, whether it be from external people or from ourselves. So, but overall, I'm really proud of everybody that showed up today, no matter what race, ethnicity, ability. I'm so happy that anybody that showed up, anybody that tried to help, whether they were able to show up or not, anybody that's operating as an emergency contact, anybody that offered a ride, anybody that did anything to encourage the people that are showing up, I'm really proud of y'all. And I really hope we continue this momentum and don't turn inwards and blaming each other, but instead look at this as the opportunity it was to build momentum. So that's all I'm putting out there. This is not coming from a place of judgment at all. It's just one of those things where I am so concerned about the state of our country, and I do not want it to become one of those things where we start to infight again and lose focus on the overall goal here. I think the last thing I'll say is there's so much value in white people leading this. There's a certain level of like restorative justice to that. And I'm not saying anybody going to protest as Black is interrupting that. It's just something I'm reflecting on, kind of thinking about this in the conversations I've had with white people that are activating right now. And it's something that I can really appreciate for two things. One, there's it seems like a widespread acknowledgement of the ways that whiteness, the white community, white supremacy has gotten us here amongst the white community. I think that is something that a lot of white people are confronting right now. And I think it is something that is extremely valuable to allow you all, to allow white people to actually confront that and deal with it. That is an incredibly empowering thing to do. And I think being able to lead a movement and progress it forward and steward that, it is something that is it's like flexing a muscle. It's like building a muscle that may have continued to atrophy if you were not able to step into this role of really dealing with that harm that's been perpetuated. And it kind of reminds me of this thing my mom used to say all the time, where when sometimes it's a blessing to the people that you're allowing to help you, even more so than the help they're offering to begin with, the support they're offering to begin with. And it is because you are allowing them the opportunity to be of service. And I think that's something that the white community at large can really, like, as a collective, can really benefit from right now. And I think being able to see that you can lead a movement, that you can activate and confront those fears and do courageous things despite it is incredibly valuable. And that's why I'm proud. So
I want you guys to let me know where you are watching this from, which state, where you in, which state do you reside in. Yes, because from the look of things, it looks like the mobilization of these protests, this time it was a bit better. Quite a lot of numbers really showed up, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, guys, including red states where majority of Trump supporters reside. States in the south like Alabama, country villages, or we call them villages, countrysides like, Florence, where all these are concentrations of Trump supporters. And yes, protests happened. What is this showing us? It is actually showing us that people are really tired. For the blue states, that is expected of them to do that. But for the red states, I think for black people, you understand, because some of you reside in these states, right? And you understand the strongholds of Republicans or strongholds of, Trump, where he fetches and, gets all this support from. So I know that this is a big deal, especially if the people that voted for him also are now opening their eyes to see that whatever is happening is really, really not good. So I feel like also, to be honest, the people that really did this, they did not do it in a heart of wanting an appreciation specifically from black people. Because I tell you what, if these people were just fighting for the black people, right, I dare you and I promise you, a lot of them would not be there. Majority of the people that are out there, to be honest, went because of the pressure, the heat that they are feeling because of this administration. So I tell you what, this is affecting them more than it is affecting black people. Because I know black people have been in this position. They've been speaking about this and they're like, we've been here. We know how to handle it. Things have never been easy for us. Right? But then it is for the people that are entitled, that get out of their comfort zone and they're like, you know what, we've never felt what we are feeling right now. We have never seen something like this. The country that we held in so much, like esteem, so much pride we had in this country. We cannot watch it go down. Our jobs, our parents, our Medicaid, and all of these things, the DEI and everything, it is being directly put in place to benefit them palm-colored people. So of course, a lot of other brothers and sisters are saying, the police wasn't there. Of course, you have seen quite a clips where, in fact, them palm-colored people were inciting violence. And to be honest, that doesn't shock me. I do expect for sure that it is, the magnates that wanted to cause this chaos because they wanted, to create just that friction. So those things are really expected, but the police did not show up. And of course, that is the same very reason as to why black people decided to sit this one down. Why? Because even there's a time, was it like February, some dates early this year, when they went and protested and they didn't see any police coming out. And even when the Latinos went and protested, no police came out. And I think from that, it was like quite revealed that police only wait for black people because they think they're the ones that are aggressive, they're the ones that are destructive, they're the ones that are animalistic. So that was really quite expected, to be honest, not for them to show up. But again, I feel like it is so nice to observe the move that is going on. And now I'm watching in Uganda, like from Uganda, and it's so good to see the moves people are taking, black people, the efforts and the silence, resistance and rebellion that you are staging. That is amazing. And for those that are doing what they're doing, they're going out there. Of course, a lot of them did not hit the Capitol like what Trump did when he lost he has such a huge ego that he cannot take close, to be honest. But I think for today, that's it from me. I want you to let me know where you're watching from, how are the protests like, from where you're watching from. If you're watching in the South, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, all those, you know, some of the red states, how was it like? Did you see people turning up, right? And what do you hear people say, especially in these states? Because what they say really matters a lot. It shapes what the next election is going to look like. Because if people are changing their mind right now, there might be a bit of hope for the Democrats in the next elections. Anywho, let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I think until then, my name is Gracie and I love all of you. Bye.